Hare Krishna, everybody. For Chaurashtakam, our first singer will be Samanyu, and he will be doing the bhajan.
You want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. Hare Krishna, my name is Rasagna. I'm currently a second year at Georgia Tech, and I've been a member of GitaWise for about 7 years now.
Hare Krishna, my name is Samanyu. I'll be doing this bhajan. I'll be a junior at Lambert High School, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Praje prasidam avanita chaparam Gopangananam chadukula choram Aneka janmajita papa choram Puragaganyam purusham namami Shri Radhikaya Hridayasya Choram Avam Buddha Shyamala Kanti Choram Vadasritanam Cha Samasta Choram Choragaganyam Purusham Namami Akinchani Kritya Padashritam Ya Karoti Bhikshum Patiye Dinam Kenapyaho Vishana Choraidre Vishtashvito Vana Jagatrayepi Yadiya Nama Piharatya Shesham Kiri Prasarana Pipaparasim Ascharya Rupanano Choraidre Drishtashrito Vanamaya Kadapi Danam Chamanam Chatatendriyani Pranam Sharitva Mama Sarvam Eva Alaya Sekutra Drito Dyachora Ambakti Damnasi Maya Niruda Chinatsi Goram Yamapasa Bandam Chinatsi Bimam Bhava Pasa Bandam Chinatsi Sarvasya Samasta Bandam Naivatmano Bhakta Kritam Tu Bandam Manmanase tamasarasi gore Aragrahe dukkamaye nivada Tabasvahe chorare chiraya Svachoya doso chitam nevatan Aragrahe vasasada hridaye madiye Madbhakti pasa drida bandhana nischalasan Tvam Krishna he pralaya koti satantarepi Sarvasva chora hridayana imochayami.
Now we will be moving on.
Hold on. We'll also read the translation. So, Manu, you want to read better?
I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in Vraja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steal the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggar. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds. Mere utterance of his name purges one a mountain of sins. Such an astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I've caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible noose of Yamaraj. You sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage. But you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there, for a very long time, you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you in millions of eons.
Good job, Saman. You're very nice singing. You nicely played Mridanga too. It was really melodious. Good job. Proud of you. Now, Sasagna, you can move on.
Now we will be reading chapter 15 of the Bhagavad Gita, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, and we will have Sharayu read the verses of this chapter.
Hare Krishna. I'm going to be reciting chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Urdhva Moolam Madashakam Ashwatam Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavid Adashchodvam Prasritastasya Shaka Guna Pravrita Vishaya Pravalaha Adascha Moolani Anusantatani Karmanubandini Manushya Narupamasheha tatopalapyate nanto na chadir na cha sampratishta ashvattamenam suviruda moolam asanga shastrena dridena chitva tataha padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yataha pravriti prashrita purani nirmana moha jita sanga dosha Adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandver vimukta sukha dukkha samjnir gachanti muda padamavyayam tat yatad bhashyate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dhamma paramam mama ivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manashastani indriyani prakritistani karshati Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramatishvaraha grihitvaitani samyati vairgandhani vashayad shrotram chakshus parshanam cha rasanam granameva cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate utkramantam stitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudananupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshushaha Yatanto yoginaschainam pasyantyatmanyavastitam yatantopyakritatmano nainam pasyantya chetasaha yadadityagatam tejo jagadbhashyate kilam yatchandramisi yatcharno tattejo viddimamakam gama vishyacha bhutani dharayamyaham ojasa pushnami chaushadi sarvaha somo bhutva rasatmakaha Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapanasmayukta Pachamyannam Chaturvidam Sarvasya Chaham Hriti Sannivishto Matah Smritirnanam Apohanam Cha Vedascha Sarverahameva Vedyo Vedanta Kridveda Videva Chaham Dvavimo Purusho Loke Ksharascha Eva Cha Kshara Sarvani Bhutani Kutasto Uchate Uttama Purushastvanyah Paramatmetyudahritah Yo Lokatrayamavishya Bibartavya Ishwarah Yasmat Ksharamati Aksharadapi Chottamah Atosmi Loke Vedecha Pratitah Purushottamaha Yo mamevam asamura janati Purushottama sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata iti guhyam tamam shastram idamuktam mayanaga etad buddhva buddhiman syat kritakrityascha bharata. Hare Krishna.
Good job. Very nice. Now, Rasagna will read the translations for chapter 15. Go ahead, Rasagna.
Verse 1. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas." Verse 2. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to fruitive actions of human society. Verse 3. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Verse 5. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, bewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Personality to attain that eternal kingdom. Verse 6. That supreme abode of mind is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. Verse 7. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Verse 8. The living entity in this material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, as air carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Verse 9. The living entity, thus taking any gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Verse 10. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of material nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Verse 11. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly, but those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. Verse 12. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. Verse 13. I enter into each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. I become the moon, and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Verse 14. I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the four kinds of foodstuff. Verse 15. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Verse 16. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is infallible. Verse 17. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Verse 18. Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. Verse 19. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. Verse 20. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is now disclosed by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection.
Excellent. Thank you, Rasagna. Let's stop sharing now. So we are now done with the program for today. So I'm going to chant. If you all want to chant, please stay back. If you have things to do, please feel free to drop. Okay, don't be obligated. But anyways, we have 10 minutes. If you want to chant, please chant along. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.